Hey everyone, Shopify just released their Shopify Editions Summer 25, and we've got one of the biggest set of updates I've seen in years. The last one, they called it the boring update, and I think it's because they were getting ready for this one. So, what's so special about this update? It comes down to this first category that we're looking at right here, themes. So, in this video, I'll give you a quick look at these theme updates, including a quick demo of some of the new features. And then I'll quickly go over some of the other updates that I thought were interesting, but the theme updates are the star for me in this Shopify Editions. They called this update Horizons. They have sort of this movie style branding on it. But essentially, this first category here, you can see that all the different categories. Themes is really the big update here. So they introduced 10 new themes. So here, let's scroll down here. So, okay, 10 new themes. So you can actually click here, check it out. So it will take you to here. And these are the 10 new Horizons themes. So they're built on a different, they're built differently than our previous free themes like Dawn, Sense, etc. Right? Those ones are built in a certain way. These ones are built in a different way. And so we're going to take a look at what that looks like a little bit later. But here are the 10 new themes. So, you know, if you're starting to build out your store or you're thinking about rebranding your store or refreshing it, definitely check out these new themes here because not only do they look a little bit different, they have different styling, different taste to it, but there's a lot of very cool new features in there that you can take advantage of. Okay, so there's new themes. We're going to take a look at it in a second. What else do we have? We have the ability to generate new blocks. So again, we're going to take a look at this, but it's not just generating new blocks. They have this new block system where you can create blocks that are reusable in different sections, and part of that feature is allowing you to generate blocks with AI to also bring to different sections, right? So before blocks would have to be specific to a certain section. Now they can be moved around, and you can even generate them directly in the theme editor, which is a really cool feature. Now, how good it is, that's a potentially different issue. We're going to test it out to see how good the generation actually is. But you know, it is definitely a cool feature just to be able to do it right here. Okay. And you can actually generate themes. Same thing. I actually tested this one out. We're not going to take a look at this. I was a little bit underwhelmed with what was generated here. But it is kind of, if you're just starting a new store, you can generate this as like an initial template. It builds it off like an existing theme like Dawn, for example. So if you don't want a Dawn theme that looks just like any other Dawn theme, you know, it'll change some of the colors and the fonts and stuff like that, so it looks a little bit different. But the images and the text, you're going to want to change all of that to your branding. So there's limited use here, but it could be a good starting point for you if you're building your theme out. And they've got some other new features here. So really cool. I actually really like a lot of these updates here. Makes up for some of the boringness of the previous update. So let's take a look. So I'm going to hop into our demo store, and I have installed a couple of these themes already and taken a quick look, but I'm just going to work off of the Horizon one just because they called this the Horizon update. So let's open this up and close this sidekick guy. Okay, so I haven't done anything in here, so this is sort of what it looks like by default. And it's not really the style of it that's interesting. It's how you can customize it that makes it really interesting. So what you're going to notice if you're really used to using, say, the Dawn theme, is that the way these sections and blocks are organized and named are different, right? So if you're used to it in a certain way, it's going to take a little bit of getting used to understanding of what extra things you can do here. And I'm still getting used to it myself. So, for example, we have this product list here, right? In here, actually, let me open up a previous version of Dawn, just so we have a comparison point. Okay, so this is our previous version of Dawn. You can see here you have a list of products, and it's called Featured Collection, and then you have some settings here. Now look at what we have in this new theme. We have this product list specified as a grid. You have all these settings here, which might be similar settings. I didn't compare them side by side. Yeah, I mean, there's some similar settings, like how many products are going to be showing. Where is it? You know, product count here 8. You know, you got product count 8, for example. How many columns? But look what's going on down here, right? You've got all these subsections or blocks that are available here to do extra things in, right? So it is way more customizable than before. Before, and if you've seen some of our content, we add code so that we can update what's going on here. Now you have a lot more flexibility to do things in the theme editor itself with blocks. Of course, we can also always add code to make it even more flexible, but here we're able to do all sorts of things. So let's say, for example, let's look at this header here. We've got all these settings on the header, and you've got your collection title, and you've got a view all button, right? So what is the view all button? Closest collection. There should be a view all button somewhere here. Oh no, sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. This header is hidden. That's why I'm not seeing it. But here it is. Okay, we've got the header and we've got our view all button, no longer hidden. But you can just kind of drag this, like these items should be able to be moved around. Look, now you can put the view all on this side and products on that side. Just something as simple as that was not something we were able to customize directly in the theme editor in the previous version, right? So we have our header. Can we even, yeah, okay, you can change the heading size. And you have a view all button here, but you can't really do anything with it, right? You can't change its position. You can maybe hide it by just deleting the text. Yeah, but can't really do the same things here, right? Here you can change what is called, right? You can change the fonts, you can change the button around, right? You can even place this. Let's see what happens if I take the header and put it lower. No, I can't do that. It looks like it's locked. Yeah, these are locked. Okay, so but let's take a look at the product cards, right? We've got media here, right? So you got the option to change it to some other shapes, right? Directly in here. And then you got this group here, which combines the product title, the price, and swatches if swatches are active. Okay, so you can do that, but what happens if you want to add another block in here? Well, we can add, let's see, what would be something useful in here? Stars, review stars, right? You can add that in there just like this. Now, I guess I don't really have any reviews on the store, but this is how you can easily add it in, right? Like you have all these built-in blocks that you can set in here. So the first really cool feature is the fact you have these blocks that are much more customizable, and you can move them around, and then they all have their own individual settings. The second thing that's really cool is the selection of blocks that we have, right? So when I push this button, add blocks, look at all these options that we have here, right? And you can add these anywhere. So you have all these options, all these blocks here, but they're reusable. So like, let's say I want to go into the hero and I add a block. We have not all the same options, but some of them are going to be usable across all these different ones. And it's all based on the settings that we set in those blocks. But look, we've got all these blocks available here as well. And so if we compare it to the previous theme version, right, you can still add blocks, but the block options are very limited, right? You can't really do anything. In featured collection, I can't even add a block here, right? So a lot of the editing that's going to be done in these new themes isn't going to be in how you use blocks, right? It's very centered around blocks. Now, case in point, look at this feature right here. Generate your own block, right? That's really cool. And there's some examples here. Oops, what did I do? I just clicked in by accident. Okay, I wanted to generate a block. So let's do that. Okay, I'll just do it from here, I guess. So we'll do it under this product description. Okay, so let's generate a block right here, right? So there's these examples here. Let's click generate. What happened? Let me try that again. Generate. Oh, it's on the right side. Okay, I thought something was going to pop up, but okay, we've got it on the left side, sorry, on the right side, that we can do some stuff with. So if I scroll down, here they actually have some examples. An image slider with a before and after. We've got the next one coming up would be large text filled with an image. And then there is a third one, which is called, once it comes up, floating cards with a 3D tilt effect and shimmer on hover. So I actually haven't tried this yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to create a block with these exact prompts. Now, I'm pretty sure these prompts are not going to generate exactly what it shows here. It's most likely the prompt they used was much more complex. But this is the demo they're showing, so why don't we put it to the test? So the first one was called, actually, let's try an easier one. An image, large text filled with an image. So that was the one where the, well, okay, we'll see what happens. Oops, wrong theme. All right, let's try this. All right, so this is the one where they had some text on some background, and then inside of the text itself would be showing the image as if the text was like a hole into the image. I'll let it, as it's generating, I'll kind of show you again what I'm talking about. Right here, right? You can see there's an image in the back, and then the letters show it. So right now it's doing its thing. It's generating. It says you can continue customizing, and we'll let you know when it's done. All right, so that was a fail. That was definitely a fail. But very cool nonetheless, because look at what we have, right? We have this, I mean, it's just text, right? It didn't actually generate some sort of image. Oh, actually, here, select image. Okay, let's try this. Maybe it's not a fail, actually. Let's give it a try. Let's use this here. Ah, there we go. Not a fail at all. I was wrong. Okay, so let's change the background, right? You can change the background. That is really cool. I'm doing this live. This is my first time doing it with you guys. This is really cool. Look at that. Look at that. And then look at all the features they give you here too, right? So you can change it uppercase, normal, or lowercase. Let's keep it uppercase. I think that makes the most sense. We can change the font size. Let's make it even bigger. Yeah, amazing. Truly amazing. I agree. So look at that. That is cool. So just like that, we created a block that gives us this feature that we can directly put on our site. And because this is AI generated, you now have unlimited possibilities to create your own features onto your store. Now, it's going to take some skill potentially with prompting, but you don't have to be as skilled in coding anymore to create features and assets in your theme like you needed to in the past, right? So now that I have this block that we've created, right? We can now look at this. We can add this somewhere else, right? We should be able to have somewhere a way to see our custom blocks. Yeah, AI generated image fill text, right? So this is the block that we just created, and let's drop it somewhere else. So like, let's say if we go to our home page, let's say we want to drop it right here. Maybe I have to try something else. Let me go back to the products, because I saw there was a way that you can actually even copy and paste your blocks, which is also very cool. I think that's a new feature that they added, right? So you can copy, and let's paste it right here. Paste inside. Look at that. We just pasted an entire block somewhere else. So very, very cool. I'm actually quite impressed at how well that worked. Let's try another one, right? We had 3 examples. Let's try them all. Okay, so we're generating a new one. The next one was called an image slider with a before and after. So let's just put that there, an image slider with a before and after. Let's give it a shot. So it's going to do its thing again. It says you can continue customizing your store and we'll let you know when it's done. So it's going to do its thing. Why don't we try to generate another block at the same time? See if it can actually do that, since we're supposed to be able to keep customizing. So let's do that. Add block. And oh no, okay. So you can only generate one at a time. It blocks you from being able to do a second one. So we'll have to do that third one after, once this is done generating. So it's just doing its thing. Just as a reminder, this one is going to be this little slider thing. So once this changes, yeah, see here, the before and after, you got this little center line where you should be able to pull it left and right to get the before and after. So that's kind of what we're trying to build right now. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so looks like it's finally finished. And I mean, the settings looks pretty on point. Looks like what we need. And we actually have the option to do follow-up instructions, which I didn't notice earlier. So if there's something you don't like about the block, you can actually ask it to fix it up, right? Maybe there's something you want to change. You can ask follow-up instructions. So let's try this, the before and after. I'm just gonna use these icons that I have here. Let's see if it actually will do what it's. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so there we go. You can go from green to gray, right? Just like that. You got your before and after. Actually, probably my before should have been gray and my after green, but that's cool. That is really cool, right? Works like a charm. And then you have these other options, like where you want your initial slider position to be, slider width. Let's see if we made this a little bit thicker. What happens? This line should be a little bit thicker, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that is really cool. I am very impressed by how this is working out. Okay, let's try the last one then. So we've got one more that is called floating cards with a 3D tilt. Let's generate that. Okay, so we'll let this generate. Um, One thought I had, and we'll test this out after this one's done generating and we've done kind of looking at it. One thought I had was because they put this in the demo on the actual like release page here, like these are the 3 examples that they gave. There's a chance that they just made sure that these exact examples work really well. Like the AI can just handle it really well. But like if we just changed the wording a little bit, maybe it wouldn't be like as optimized. Or maybe if we try to build some other type of feature, it might not be as optimized because working with LLMs like ChatGPT, you kind of learn how what you say, like what we say, like makes sense in our head. But then when you get the response from ChatGPT, you realize, oh, there actually are multiple ways to interpret what it is that I gave it, right? And so sometimes you have to be a little bit more specific. You need to be more clear with how you define things. So AI may not always give you what you think, what you want, because the instructions may not just have been clear enough. So these prompts that I've been giving it are very, very vague, right? Like it's not very specific on how I want it, and it just kind of comes up with something that's pretty cool. Now, if Shopify optimized the prompts that we see on the Shopify Editions page, maybe these ones just work really well because they know people are going to test it. So after this one's done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come up with some different feature, right? And see how that performs. Maybe we'll do maybe some sort of like countdown timer, something like that. And I'll do a countdown timer and see how it does. But for now, we'll just wait for this to finish generating, and then we'll see how it performs. Okay, so it looks like it's done. Let's add these cards. Okay, images for the cards. Okay, let's add these in. Okay, let's just use this guy here. We've got image 1, image 2, and image 3. Oh, sorry. Click the wrong thing. Okay. Oh, actually, you can even do more. So let's see, 3D effect. Okay, so it's supposed to tilt and shimmer on hover. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I mean a little bit. You can see that. Yeah. The center one doesn't tilt and shimmer. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's make it more pronounced. Tilt title size. Tilt intensity. Okay, let's max this out. See what happens. Yeah, I mean, it does it. It's not super obvious. I mean, it's okay. I don't know what it's supposed to be like, but you can actually tell that it's doing the tilting and shimmering. So that is actually really cool. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. Maybe we could fine tune it so that it tilts or shimmers a little bit more aggressively, but I mean, it does what it said it was doing, and you've got all these other features to go along with it. So, I mean, it did what it's supposed to do. So let's come up with our own prompt now and see how that works. So let's add a new block. Let's generate, create a countdown timer that where the numbers flip like cards. Let's try that and see what happens. Now, like I mentioned, this is my own prompt that I came up with. not one that Shopify has on their demos here. So we're going to see how it performs. I'm haven't tried it out yet. I'm just doing it live with you guys, and we'll find out together how it does. So let's just wait for this to finish up. All right, so it just finished generating the block, and immediately there's a difference that I noticed in terms of how long it took to generate this this block. So the previous ones, you saw me do it live. It maybe took a minute or so. It didn't feel like it took that long. But here, this one took probably 15 minutes to finish generating. I was waiting for quite a while, much, much, much longer than the first 3 that you see here took. So is that because it's something a little bit new for the Shopify AI compared to these examples, or something else? I'm not sure, but just for a point of reference, this one took potentially 15 minutes compared to the 1 or 2 minutes that these ones took. So let's take a look at it. Now, one thing I noticed during the 15 minutes was I checked the recording that I just did, and I noticed that I left the camera on, so you couldn't actually even see the settings. So let me just do this so that you can see all the settings, and then I'll bring myself back afterwards. So, all right, so we've got these different settings here. We've got these different labels and colors and sizes. Okay, so how do we set this? Okay, so we get a target date. It gives you a specific format. So 2023, let's call it 2025. Right, December 31st, 2025. Okay. Not quite. Oh, no. Yeah, not quite. 220. Okay, let's do something a little bit closer. Maybe because the number of days here is all messed up. So we are in May, so let's do May 31st. Yeah, this is supposed to be... I'm actually not sure what this is supposed to be. If I copy it and I just place it on a notepad or something. That says, okay, it's 028. Well, okay. It apparently this top here is a 0. These are all zeros. And then this is a 28, so that's the number of minutes. This one I think is number of hours, 02, and then this is days, right? Today's the 21st. Yeah, so it's 10 days away. So it's almost there. I think for whatever reason, these top ones got not corrupted, but they're just wrong. But it's almost there. So if I'm gonna take a wild stab here, I think this is because I generated my own prompt here, and it's not perhaps the AI isn't as well trained on a prompt, and they made sure that these ones here worked really well. And then if you want to do something yourself, then it doesn't quite do the thing it's supposed to do. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still really, really cool and a really great starting point. Like, all I did was write this, and I had to wait a little bit longer than the other ones, but we got essentially what I asked for, right? I asked for a flip card type of countdown timer that looks exactly what I want it to look like. And now we just need to fix this up, right? And so there should be a way to fix this. Now let's test this out, right? Follow-up instructions. So the flip card numbers are not showing properly. The top half of the card is incorrect. Okay, let's just try that. I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait. So, if I'm gonna wait a little bit here, but we might need to wait a little bit longer for it to finish. So if that's the case, then we'll just come back when it's done. All right. Okay. So it's done generating again. So let's try it again. We just got to change this date back to 2025. And looks like still something's not quite right still. Okay, well, might have to do a little bit more iterations to get this to work properly. It looks a little bit better, but still not quite there, right? You can kind of see here that these are, this kind of looks like a 2 now, or these are 2 zeros. Anyway, whatever it is, it's not quite right. But you can work with the prompting here to try to fix this up. But yeah, this is really cool. If you don't know how to code, this is super powerful for you. And if you do know how to code, then you're just gonna be able to work faster because you can use the Sidekick AI or this block generation to kind of get you going, and then you hopefully should be able to edit this in code afterwards. That I'm not sure. I was just checking here in the code editor. I couldn't actually find the blocks, so I'm not 100% sure if you're able to access the code to just make your own edits afterwards. But if you can, then this is a super good tool to be able to just generate your own blocks and then do touch-ups as needed. Hey guys, so turns out you actually can edit the blocks you generate. So if you go to the theme editor in the blocks folder and then you scroll down, there should be these AI gen blocks right here. So these are the ones that we had created, right? This one is probably the image slider. Yeah, there we go. And then this one is here, might be the countdown timer. Yep. So the reason why it didn't show up earlier when I was looking at it is because, well, I just didn't save. So save your theme edits, guys, and then you're going to be able to see these AI gen blocks. And with the code here, then you can actually go in and make the edits to it. So really, this is a super powerful feature that I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of. Anyway, back to the rest of the video. Okay, so just bringing myself back. So those are the theme features that I wanted to show. We spent a lot of time just looking at some of these new themes, and particularly around the new blocks, the way the themes handle blocks, and how we can generate our own custom blocks, right? So very, very cool. But let's just take a quick look at some of the other updates from this Shopify Summer Editions. Now, like I mentioned, most of these other updates are not as interesting as the blocks here, right? So I'll just kind of go through it fairly quickly. Generating themes. Like I mentioned, you can generate something. It would just be built on top of an existing theme like Dawn. And so they just trying to change the fonts, the colors, and they put some images in and change some of the text. But I tested it out once and it just wasn't that good, right? Like I mentioned, you can use it as a template to start off with, like a color theme or sort of an aesthetic vibe that you can use to you can use it to brainstorm or to explore different aesthetic vibes. And then once you find something that you kind of like, then you have to just put in your own photos, your own text, and just make it your own. But it kind of gives you a more interesting starting point than just the default Dawn theme or whichever theme that you're using. So that's what you could use that for. All right, Sidekick updates. They say it's a lot smarter. It speaks 20 languages, and you can create images. I played with it a little bit. It's okay. I did a video sometime back kind of exploring Sidekick. Thought it was a little underwhelming. I didn't really go into detail here, but I still thought, ChatGPT or just your state of the art LLMs that are out there, I just thought they were just better than that. So I just didn't really use it too much. I'd have to explore it a little bit more, but at first glance, I think I'd just rather use ChatGPT. So that's sort of my take on that. POS, retail POS. We don't use this too much. If you use it, one thing that I thought was actually really interesting that maybe you guys are already aware of if you do use retail is where is it? Oh, I think maybe it was in the checkout area. There's a way you can just take payments with your phone. I can't find it, but I thought that was cool. Where is it? Okay. Anyway, there's a feature where you can just take payments with your phone, so I thought that was really cool. But that's mainly for POS users, because for most of us doing use on purely ecom, it doesn't really apply. All right, so checkout features. One feature here, flat rates for split shipping. If you use split shipping, you can just set a single rate instead of have to have two shipping rates for each location that you're shipping from. So that's a nice little feature. The rest of these are, not super interesting, but useful. Useful, but not super interesting. Here, this is actually something I've never seen before. They are saying they're going to unlock an update on June 12th. I don't know if it's just because it was late and they couldn't get it in on time, or it's something actually really important and something that's like really impactful that they just want to hide it and have its own release. I don't know, but if you're interested, you could just get notified and put in your email, and you'll be one of the first to know. Now, the reason why I say this is interesting is because they have announced features before and not actually have them available, right? Like the checkout blocks, sorry, not checkout blocks, the blocks, the theme blocks that we were just spent most of this video talking about, they announced that some time ago. But they didn't really have that available and live in themes to use until now. So I don't know why they can't just announce what's going on here and just have it available in the future. So because of that, this makes me this piques my interest because they're kind of making this a mystery. So I'm looking forward to June 12th to see what this is all about. All right, let's move on. Global. Shopify payments in 16 more countries. So if you're in one of these countries, then you can use Shopify payments now. Let's see. This one is actually kind of interesting too. It's only for Shopify Plus users. But if you sell in different countries and you have incorporated in different countries too, then you can actually set those. You can use those different entities to sell to, right? So that you don't have to worry about cross-border tax and stuff like that as much, right? Because you have a separate entity to deal with those locations. So if you're a Plus Store user, then and you actually have decided to split up your corporation based on the locations that you sell in, and incorporate in different countries, then this is something you're going to want to take advantage of. That's pretty cool. You can also get payouts in different currencies. So if you collect, if you have customers in all sorts of different countries in different currencies, and you have bank accounts in those separate currencies, then you can actually get paid out in those different currencies too. So yeah, I thought those were actually pretty cool updates for large Plus Store users. Okay, marketing. Discount codes have an update where you can use a single discount code for product, order, and shipping discounts. So before we had to have each discount code was one of these three. And then they added a feature where you can combine two different codes together to get, say, an order discount plus a shipping discount. But now you can actually use one single discount, let's say summer 2025, and actually have it to be all three. So that's a pretty cool feature, and allows you to not have to worry about like cluttered discount codes or trying to figure out how to combine discount codes together. You just have one that that does all three for you. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. This one actually I thought was pretty interesting. So if you have your customers, it was something you could always do, right? So you have here this Shopify QL allows you to query on different aspects of your store. So in this example here, you can query on your customers, and you can like segment them out in different ways. Well, now they actually have pre-built segments. So just to help you separate your customers into different groups a little bit more easily. So if you want to send marketing emails to them, or if you want to kind of build out certain promotions or find who your highest value customers are, just makes it a little bit easier to do that. So you can definitely take advantage of that if that's not something you're already doing. Now it's kind of built in. You can do it right away. Okay, let's move along. Okay, Shop app. I mean, this is sort of the Shop app experience. Not too interesting for us. B2B. So this is for Plus users if you're using B2B. There's this one I thought was pretty interesting. So if you have the Checkout Blocks app, you can set up a function that allows you to set minimum maximum order value. So let's say you want it to be a minimum of $1,000, maximum $10,000, then you can set those ranges, and then the order will fail if it's not within that range. So that was I thought that was pretty cool. And they also share a bunch of B2B compatible apps that I think in particular it's allowing you to have like NetSuite, so different ERP that you can connect to. QuickBooks, right? A bunch of different apps that are specific for B2B. So they have other apps here in the list. You can see a lot of ERP options here as well. So yeah, just if you're using Shopify Plus in B2B, then that's just a nice little update to see what other features you can add on top of your store. Okay, shipping. So they have this Shopify order printer app that has been around for a little bit. But I guess what they have added is a pick list to it. So personally, we use third-party apps like ShipStation and stuff like that to handle our shipping. But what it seems like they're doing with this short Shopify order printer app is it's kind of like saying like, hey, keep the label printing in Shopify itself, and we're going to give you the features that you need in order to handle label printing a little bit more easily. Because we could already create pick lists and packing slips and all that from ShipStation and stuff like that. But now they're giving you more and more of these features within Shopify. So my guess is they're just trying to take that part back. But if you are printing your labels from Shopify, then this is going to be handy for you because it just makes it easier to manage your shipments. The other thing I thought was really interesting under shipping was this one right here. So you've got this Shopify Fulfillment Network app. This one seems new. And if you're using one of these sort of 3PLs to ship your products for you, then you're probably going to find this very useful because you can actually get access to your account information directly in the Shopify admin. So it's just more integrated in with Shopify than having to kind of go into a separate platform. So that's pretty useful, and it gives you a comparison of their pricing and stuff like that. So check that out if you're using any one of these services. Okay, let's see. Operations. In operations, there was one that I thought was really interesting. This is actually first one here. Refund to store credit. So that is a really cool new feature. So if your refund policy, depending on how your refund policy is, but allowing you to refund to store credit means that you're you're essentially trying to keep any revenue that you would have lost from refunds in your store. So you're essentially encouraging someone to spend more at your store in order to like access the refund credit that they have. So it just kind of helps with your margins a little bit, while also making your customer happy by offering refunds. So maybe you could actually be a little bit more loose with your refund policy because you know that it's going to be as store credit that's going to be spent back on your store again. So there's a lot of different ways to think about how to use this, but just having the feature to begin with is really cool. Okay. Next category is the developer category. Typically, I wouldn't talk about this one too much, but they have this Shopify MCP server that I think we're going to probably start exploring with some of the N8N AI agents that we're going to be building. So we're probably going to want to use an MCP server from Shopify to help with them. So that's just something that we're probably just going to explore. So I just thought that was interesting that they mentioned that here. I think this one is actually more for developers building apps and stuff, but they do have a server that could be useful for AI agents as well. Okay. But yeah, those are the updates that I thought were most interesting. Again, the most interesting is around these new themes and the ability to generate your own blocks and how the blocks are reusable in different sections. You can copy and paste them in different spots, which is very useful because in the past, if you create a block in one section, it wasn't available anywhere else. You'd have to just copy and paste that exact same code somewhere else into your theme files in order to access it. So having the ability to drag and drop blocks makes editing your theme much more easy. Generating blocks gives you a very powerful tool, so long as it works, right? In this case, we saw here that, we're here with our countdown flipper. Doesn't work so well. But in other cases, it works very well. So those are the updates. If you're interested in learning more about how to best use these new themes, or generating your own blocks, or creating AI agents like this one here that helps load your Facebook ads for you, then check out the links in the description. But that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.